Good morning, folks. Welcome to Something More Than Gibberish. This is episode 57. It's been going for 2 years now, and today it is my pleasure to feature Ericka Floyd. Hi, Betty, Denise, Dennis. Yeah, Ericka is an amazing artist that I met in a couple of places. Number one, it's Mr. Witts and Gifted Johnson's Zoom, plus another one run by John Chance and Midnight. Again, another live run the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. And I had the pleasure of hearing Ericka's work in on those platforms, and really looking forward to featuring her today. She's originally from Brooklyn, so that always creates the banter with John Chance and Midnight, but she spent most of her time in South Carolina and then in North Carolina. Soon as Ericka gets in the room, we can drag her up and get this show on the road. I love you too, Miss Betty. Thank you for coming on. We're all dressed up and ready to go, waiting for our featured guest. Hi, Gifted. Very good to see you. What else can I say about Ericka other than her pieces are always uplifting, soulful, and hits the very real issues. She speaks, her words speak on her life through the hard times that she faced, and she constantly keeps striving upwards. She served in the Air Force, so there's so much to talk about with her. I just need Ericka to turn up. She was a bit gun shy about coming on the show, but needless to say, I've assured her that it is a safe place. There's no need to be concerned. What else can I say about the lady other than wait for her to turn up? Thank you, everybody, for joining the show, and it's clearly evident how much Ericka means to everybody. Okay, Ericka is saying that she doesn't see my live. Let me share this with her, and we can get her on. I've just sent it to her. Let me just let her know that I just sent her the link. Here we go. Let me bring her up. I'm trying to bring you up now, Ericka, so hopefully... there she... Hello,
I'm here. Well, IG be doing some weird stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm going through I'm like, where's his live at? I thought he just came on and I didn't see you for a minute.
Well, there's some... you're dearly loved because there's some great people in the room already. Gifted Johnson is here. Tom
Oh.
DeSaro is here. Erdaze is here. Miss Betty's been... was here as I kicked the live off. So there's a lot of people wanting to hear all about you, Ericka. And thank you, firstly, for agreeing to come on the show. As I said, I think I first came across your work on Gifted and Mr. Witz's show, and also with John Chance and Midnight, because I still remember the banter every time you said you were from Brooklyn. That kicked that off. So I was touched by your work because you write on very real things. So I'm so looking forward to getting to know more about the person behind the words.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say. I'm just me, no big deal. But hey, we never got a chance to just, chop it up, just the two of us anyway. So I welcome the opportunity,
Um, it's
even
a
though I'm a
pleasure.
nervous wreck. But nevertheless, I'm here, and thank you guys for showing up for me. I appreciate it. It means a lot. For those that are in the audience, I appreciate you guys.
You just said words that I live my life by. I'm just me, and that's all we can be, right?
That's it.
I find the simplicity in our outlook of ourself is what helps us to be a better person. And that, my friend, is exactly how I live my life. And to hear you say those words, it's
Mm,
reassuring to me to know that there is another soul out there that thinks the same way.
thank you. Yes. So
So,
what you got for me, Rainier?
so, so tell me, let's start. What inspired you to even start writing?
I've always I've always written off and on. To be honest with you, I seem to be flittering through life with no real, I don't know if I should say no real direction, because I'm a person of faith, especially in the latter years, from my early 20s on, definitely owning my faith. But in retrospect, just thinking about my life, looking over it, I realized that a lot of times I'm always editing. I was always editing myself because I'm trying to keep peace. I don't like confrontation, never have. Um, I'm just about keeping peace. So just to give you an example, like even with my past marriage, if there was some discord between us where he didn't want to resolve something, how some people just have to walk off and cool off or whatever, and it seems like we're not getting anywhere in an argument or anything, a dispute. I would sit down and write everything and edit it and make sure it didn't come off offensive, where he'd have to sit down and read it without interrupting me. And that's basically how I went through life anyway, even prior to the marriage. I mean, I'm divorced now, but and even with my children too, for that matter, when there was issues at school, they would tease me, my two oldest ones, um, because instead of like going off like some uh black women that you put them in a category that they're just going to go off, curse somebody out, threaten them, whatever, I would say I'm writing an email, and they're like, oh mom, you and your emails. And so I would send an email to the principal or whomever and copy them in, whatever the issue was, and I'm editing and make sure that it sounds I guess professional, uh just making sure that they don't take offense to anything that I'm saying, just to kind of get where I'm coming from in terms of when I'm advocating for my children when they were in school. I was always doing that. It's just what I do. Text messages, all that. I was always editing, but what speeded things up was in shortly after the pandemic started, well, after my mom passed. It really started making me look over my life, and I'm like, she had potential to do so much. And I still feel, even at 75, that she left here too soon. There were so many things she didn't get to do. And one of my things is I just don't want to leave this life with any regrets. I started trying to do things that scare me half to death, like this right here. I was never I was never a person that would get in front of a crowd of people and be the center of attention. Always wanted to be in the background, even when I was part of the choir, because I used to be in a church choir when I was active duty. I never wanted to do what do they call it? It's not a solo. I forgot what you call it. See, my mind, it just left the word. But needless to say, I did not want to lead. I didn't want to lead a song. I'd
Mm,
be in the background. I said, I'll just be one of the background altos. I'm not doing it. And I was asked many times, and I'm like, no, no, no. And as tragedy would have it, my voice, my vocal cords was damaged, but that was another issue that came much later. And I said, you know what? have to start working with the gifts that I have. If this is in fact a gift that God has given me, I need to utilize it before I lose that too.
mm.
So that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, firstly, this space,
Mm-hmm.
this show is all about you. The reason I do it is to showcase people that I hold of value, that I respect, to different corners of the world, because I post this on YouTube, I post this, I create a podcast, and I created post the Instagram post, which I'll add you as a collaborator, because uh, I'm I'm just a facilitator of this medium. I'm not expecting, I do not have a set of wants. This is all about showing what you want of yourself to the world, because I believe in your work. The pieces that I've heard on Midnight's show and on Gifted's show with Mr. Witz, and I believe in it. And like that, I'm sure there's other people in different corners of the world who would gain benefit from hearing your words. Um, I mean, we all derive for different reasons, and I think that very concept of
Mm-hmm.
writing our feelings down in the heat of the moment, that's a very healthy way to approach things, because otherwise we say things that we can never get back.
That
But when
part.
we write it, we can be cognitive, find that balance between cognitive and emotional sort of response, and write it down. I do write it sometimes, but I am a bit sort of can be triggered as well in everyday life. So at work, for example, somebody says something, I need to remind myself to do exactly what you do, because sometimes I can react quite uh, spontaneously,
Mm-hmm.
which is not necessarily always the best way, especially when
Right.
something triggers you pretty, you know. See, um, we all have different stories. You, as you said, a lot of your writing even stems from the hard times you faced in your life. But there's also a lot of people out there who don't have anybody to reach out to, or have somebody to model themselves around or to guide them. And in our conversations through this show, my hope is that those who need it will see it at the right time, and words that we exchange could be the help that that person needs at that time. You know,
Yeah.
why do wars happen? Because people don't take that time to think and respond accordingly.
Mhm.
Right?
That
So,
part.
your way of responding to a confrontation is a valuable thing that somebody can gain from. You know.
I do try. I don't hit it every time here lately because I'm getting older. And as we get older, it's like we don't have time for that. Okay. So it gets less and less filter. So I gotta work much harder to try to like, okay, chill.
Well, we are human, right? That's why we're
Yes.
given this gift of life so we can learn. If you get it
Yes.
80%, that's fine. Tomorrow it could be 81%, right? It doesn't matter. You know. I'm trying
Hmm.
to get it right, do take the time to write things and respond accordingly, or to take a deep breath, walk away, and then talk once my blood
Yes.
levels have come down. I might only do that 20% of the time. The other 80% of the time, I mean, I'm just like you know, I get triggered. So,
Yeah, that part. That part, absolutely. Especially if you're one that in past you've taken a lot from people. You were always the one trying to be level-headed. And that was me. I took a lot, I got picked on, all of that. And a lot of times, just trying to people please,
yeah,
trying to keep peace.
Yeah.
And now it's like, look, I'm grown. I've been married. I've traveled. I have four grown children. Like, I don't have to take this now. So, so it's a cross between that. But at the same time, still, it's like, you're not worth my freedom. I'm
Yeah.
not going to jail for you.
Yeah.
So that is like that too. So it's like, okay, Erica, how you going to respond to this? But
Yeah.
at the same time, checking people to make sure they know that you're not the one.
So, how did you deal with how you spent quite a couple of active terms with the Air Force at Hurlburt Field in Florida, and then in Zaragoza in Spain. Now, military, I worked quite closely for the Air Force for 10 years in my career as well. Not for the Air Force, but I did a lot of work for defense science and technology. And
Hmm.
I'm familiar with their regimental, and my son was in the army as well. So I'm quite familiar with the regimental, the confrontation. Now, there's a lot of that, right? You put a whole bunch of people together on one base.
Hmm.
How did you deal with that?
It wasn't too bad. It was just later on in my that term, because I only did one term. I barely did a whole term because the base was closing, and the base was closing because we were in a campaign at the time. Is what they call it, a campaign when you have a war, if you will, um, a conflict. And so I was in during Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
Mm,
And but I was able to get out with honorable. They were trying to sabotage um, my discharge upon the base closure because Spain was closing
mm,
their base during Desert Storm. And at the time, my ex-husband joined me because he was in Korea. The beginning of our marriage, we got married in Florida, but then he left. He had an assignment in Korea. And then a few months later, I had one in Spain. So we were in two different continents in the
mm,
beginning of the marriage, for one. And when he joined me over there, I had had some issues like with, I kept miscarrying because I lost three babies before I finally had four.
mm,
Okay, so that's something else. Um, and needless to say, because of the supervisor I had, um, upon him coming over, I believe she was there when he came, and then they changed because she PCS somewhere else with permanent change of station. She gave me a bad rating with no justification. And
mm.
I believe she was borderline racist anyway, because we had an issue, and because she outranked me, I couldn't challenge her. But that was another story in itself. But in any case, when you give a bad feedback rating, you're supposed to justify why, and you're supposed to sit down with your subordinate and have a conversation. She never sat down with me. She just gave me a low rating and she left. And so to cover themselves, and I can't even believe I'm getting into this, but to cover themselves, they kept sabotaging stuff that I do in the office to try to make me look incompetent.
Mm, mm.
And when I told my ex-husband what was going on, I was really surprised. Apparently, he loved me at the time. He came over there threatening my chain of command because the person above me outranked him. But he told him he better leave me alone. He was ready. He was going off, and they moved me to another shop until I got out, and I managed to get out still with honorable. Because I'm like, if I was so bad, how did I get out with an honorable discharge? And
Yeah,
I even had letters of a letter of appreciation from a couple of other soldiers and all of that, as far as the work I done in the shop. So it's like it wasn't making sense at all. I said she never told me there was any issues. She didn't justify it, and now they're trying to cover themselves because they knew they were wrong. There's a
mm,
lot of politics and whatnot that goes on. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
yeah.
But yeah, but other than that, I was
Mm,
an admin troop, so I never had to see combat. I almost went to Saudi prior to leaving Florida, which is Hurlburt Field. They had orders for me that I wasn't even aware of. But short, and this was during the time where I had just married my ex, and then he left. We got married, and I think a day or two later, he was on a plane and he went to the Pacific. He was in Korea, and I didn't know I was pregnant at the time when I got married. So they canceled my orders to Saudi after I told them I was pregnant. They said we were getting ready to ship you off. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Y'all didn't tell me this. So they canceled the orders. And I got to stay in Florida for a minute until I miscarried. And then I left. I had new orders to go to Spain.
Hmm.
But I was an admin troop though. I did personal affairs.
Well,
I was on mobility line. I was watching or helping to process other soldiers that were going overseas during this conflict. So, but I never had to really do, combat. I was basically in administrative field.
the that's yeah. I mean, that's typical of the military. I mean, it
Mm.
set the hard start to the marriage. Like 2 days later, for your ex to be flying to another continent, and then shortly after you going to another continent. That's very challenging circumstances for a
Mhm.
to start a marriage, and then my ex-wife too had carried her child full term and lost it,
Wow.
and it was stillborn. And I know 30 years later, I could still hear her cries at the on the day 5th of October. So having four miscarriages and all that, you can see where the pain of that. How does that ever leave? It's challenging. Now, Miss Betty asked a question.
Oh,
Uh,
she was asking questions. What you doing, Miss Betty? What are you doing to me?
her question
Okay.
over the years, she'd seen noticed a profound growth in a positive way in your writing, your confidence, your demeanor. Uh, she wants to know more about what was the impetus that encouraged and promoted that growth.
I guess I would have to say, this poetry community. Um, and it's not to say that everybody's perfect in any group or community or what have you, but those that I've interacted with, um, they're lovingly pushy. Speaking of which, I have dubbed my Kay Nichelle as my lovingly bossy baby sister because the first time I've actually spit a piece in front of a live audience was at her birthday party because she guilted me into it. I didn't have a birthday gift. At least I felt guilty. And she initially said, her theme was, there were poets coming. This is during pandemic, and she wanted poets to come and speak at her event. And she asked me, and I said, well, I'm not really comfortable with that. As it was, I was forcing myself to come on Instagram, trying to fight through the fear of coming on Instagram because I used to be terrified, absolutely terrified. But I made myself do it. And she was like, okay, no problem. So I was like at ease. I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm just coming to the party. I'm there, support her, whatever. And I get there and I'm getting ready to leave. And she said, aren't you going to spit? I said, you told me I didn't have to. What are we doing? And she gave me this look. And Kendra has a way of just, it kind of reminds you of, is it Puss in Boots where that cat looks at you, his eyes get big or whatever, and you just melt, feel like you got to do whatever this 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 cat is asking for or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, she get on my nerves. And that kind of helped too, because it was like an annoying little sister, vying for attention or whatever. And I'm thinking, I did not bring a gift. I guess I got to do this. So I, got on the mic, and so that kind of helped because she just aggravating, but I love her.
Well, we got to thank her for it because I'm certainly glad that you are sharing your work. And
Yeah.
in your bio, you said you're an emerging spoken word writer. I think you're far past that emerging. I think your work is good. Now, how did you pronounce her name because I've always pronounced it as Mick Nichelle and Mikey Nichelle, is it? Mike Nichelle.
It's my K Nichelle.
Mike Nichelle. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Nichelle, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. Uh, I'm just an ignorant Australian, right? What do I know? But Mike Nichelle, right. Thank you for correcting me on that. Uh, Interesting you mentioned her, actually. I have been watching her over the last few months, her posts on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and I see her growing in her confidence and her outwardness as well, and in her work as well. I'm going. I mean, I've obviously never met the lady.
Right.
I've only connected with her on Instagram and on Mr. Wits and Gifted's live and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Which unfortunately, 18 months ago, I changed organisations that I work for, so I haven't been able to join those shows. Not because I don't like them, believe me, I miss them dearly. But it's because your evening is my daytime, the next day, work day. So when these shows are on, I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
so it's a bit hard for me to jump on these lives, but I dearly miss them. Even the one that Midnight and Chance run, I love going at that one and Mr. Witz's one on Zoom as well with Gifted. So
Yeah.
I haven't been able to see these people for a while, but watching their growth in their posts and all that is just phenomenal. They're going from strength to strength. So, Mike and Michelle, keep growing, keep going the way you are, and thank you for getting this lovely lady to actually get on stage and do her stuff. uh, should we go to a piece? Do you want to feel like sharing a piece of your work?
I guess I'll start off with this one because I wasn't sure what to do, to be honest. Now, I had posted this with the help of my man who is in the audience, M.A. Dennis. He's also a poet. And by the way, he wrote my bio. As far as the emerging, those are his words.
All right.
So it's a combination of things. So he wrote that. So this is not titled, but this was actually based on an 8-word prompt from Ramrock Speaks.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I don't have the words printed on the page so I can tell you what words to look for. But Ramrock is also one that keeps me working too when he
Mm.
comes out with these 8-word prompts. I can see out these glasses. Quite often, I'm reminded of my mother. My mind meanders in a chorus of memorable expressions, notably etched in the groove of my cerebral cortex, faintly replaying side B, but fickle as I tune into side A. Side A has its moments in vigor, energy, and potential. It is lively and faster in tempo, always hurried, more carefree, but there is something to be said of side B. It's smooth, wise, and appreciates what's important. Just mellow, so it's chill. My ego a bit bruised with side B gaining momentum into my reality, but joyous that I'm not in jeopardy of forgetting the melody of days past. The clef notes are still accessible, remnants replicating what I thought could not be duplicated, yet in its way, sampling my dear mama. With every glance of my reflection, I see her. It's said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, yet priceless is the image that appears before me. And although I quietly crave a younger version of what is reflected, my eyes behold her legacy. Poem.
Um, oh my goodness, that was taking me on my own journey of my own life. It's funny,
Mhm.
every poet would write about a mother, right? That mother figure, that maternal figure. I only lost mine in 2017. I lost my father when I was 12, back in many years, 5 decades ago. But and she donated her whole life to us. And so, as you were reading that, yes, we do. In our own makeup, there is that their essence of our parents, right? And recognizing that the traits that they had that we see in us.
Mhm. Yeah. And I'm seeing it more and more, and I'm like, wow. Because she used to say, well, you look like your father. I said, Mom, I know I'm your child. I can see it. I started seeing it before she passed, because she
Yeah.
passed in 2020, about a week before the pandemic. But and it's on. I think I shared it on my Instagram because I forgot the name of the tune that's playing. Um, I forgot the tune that is playing, but come to find out, the tune that I was playing behind it, which is probably a copyright issue, um, is one that Tupac had sampled for Dear Mama.
Mm.
But I did the original recording. Me and Ma had collabed. Well, he helped me post it. But yeah, I love this piece too because it is in tribute to my mother.
And I'm sure she will be smiling from wherever she is. She'd be smiling, and
Yeah.
heart be full of love. Um, Dennis said the title was Dear Mama.
Yeah, that's well, at least that's what Tupac titled his. I don't even have a title on mine.
Yeah. The and it's interesting what you say. Sometimes we don't see our similarities as till we are older. I was a copy of
Mhm.
my father, and in many ways, a lot of him. But I didn't start seeing how much I had of my own mother's way of life, and I'm seeing it daily now,
Mhm.
because in the latter years she lived by herself, and now I live by myself, and I'm sort of probably seeing more and more of how she lived her life in my isolation. It's interesting. It really is. And it's all good things, you know. It's the traits in her that I'm happy that I see in me now, you know.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same things. It's scary because I live by myself. I just got into a relationship with the gentleman that's in the audience recently because I had been by myself for a minute, and my mother was by herself.
Yeah.
Uh, she was single when she passed, and I'm just noticing things that I'm doing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is scary. This is so scary. The only difference is that I'm out here and I'm part of this poetry community, so I have things to keep me busy, at least to get out of the house. I have purpose to get out of the house, other than, maybe work or gym or spending time with my man. Um, I have purpose. So that is the only thing that's different.
Well, I'm glad that you have found somebody to share your life with, because I think,
Yeah.
you know, somebody who's authentic, somebody who is love's genuine, somebody who cares from the heart. I think they deserve that uh, the opportunity to share it with another, and have that reciprocated to them. So I'm so happy to hear that.
Hmm.
And I guess people, once we get that older stage, we have that ability to not dissolve or lose who we are once we are in that relationship, right? And
That
that,
part.
you know,
Hmm.
and
Yes, sir.
when we're younger, we fall in love and then we forget who we are. But as we're older, I think the
Yes.
relationship itself is more enriched, because each individual retains their individuality but choose to walk holding hands down a common path. if that makes sense.
That
So,
makes absolute sense.
yeah,
Because
uh,
I had been single for a long time.
yeah,
That makes absolute sense.
yeah.
So yeah. No, I agree.
And
Absolutely.
I've constantly got to remind myself
Hmm.
because I've what 10 getting on to 9 years now since I finished up with my ex-wife, and since then I've essentially been single. But I'm enjoying my independence so much that I've got to constantly keep reminding myself to keep my mind open if that right person came along, to give them a chance and not be selfish, you know. Um, so yeah, it's
We definitely were going through the same kind of phase. You sound like me. You just a man. No, you
yeah.
sound like me. Yeah. Once you finally got used, you get used to it. Yeah, you like it would seem foreign
Well,
to
for
be involved at that point. And so we've been together for 3 months and counting.
yeah.
So it took me a minute. He wore me down. That's what I tell everybody. He wore me down like he was Steve Urkel and I was Laura. He wore me down because I was like, okay, finally, because it used to be God, am I meant to be by myself like my mother was when she died? And then here he come 8 months ago, like December, you know, and he's just a sweet guy. So I finally like, okay, I give up. You see, he's laughing. Yeah, because I'm like, I just give up. Because I'm like, I can't, I really could not do any better. I'm like, he has proven over and over again that he's a decent man and he's met my children. So, you know, if anything was to happen to me, they know who to look for. Nah, I'm just playing.
Uh,
Yeah, I was like, okay. Because I was like, wait a minute, I'm finally comfortable in my freedom here. Wait, wait, wait. And I've been divorced since 2014.
yeah, yeah. So, and you're right, because I mean, for the 20 years that I was married, I've fully devoted my whole life to our own son that we had, plus the two children that she had from a previous marriage, who were two and
Mhm.
a half and four when we got together, and I brought them up like my own. So 20 years was about her, the family home, the kids, and watching them. Now that they are all adults standing on their own feet, I've
Mhm.
got a good relationship with with the two boys as well as my own son,
Mhm.
and they are captaining their little ships independently, and I stand back and watch. They know I'm only a phone call away, but so I now again can devote my life to my own growth, my own experience, whether it's physical experience through travel, or whether it's in my own inner growth, or through my donating time to my own publishing of my own work. I didn't publish my first book till after I was well divorced, whereas although I'd been writing since 1989, I never.
Wow.
It was just for me.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I started socializing my work on Instagram and then publishing my work well after I was divorced. So I'm enjoying that sort of growth within myself, or learning about me as well, because when you live alone, the beauty is you've got a lot of time to think. You know, you got a lot of time to look in a mirror and say, hey, listen, fella, you were unreasonable there. How about you change that habit? Or, hey, that was good. Keep building
Mhm.
that. You know, you got a lot of time to self-talk, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
I
but
get a lot about me. But it's amazing. The children are grown and gone, and it's like I want to see my babies. My daughter-in-law's in here. At least she's in here for a minute. I don't know how long she's gonna be in here. But yeah, I've been getting on them, guilting them, like, when you gonna check on your mother? I'm by myself, like, But she checks on me more than my daughter does. It's a trip. But anyway, did you need me to read another piece or did you have more questions?
no, no, please. This is you take this any direction you like. I'd love you to share as much as your work. I love the conversations. There you go. You were saying, you've got somebody there saying, "Hey, Ma." So is that
That's my daughter-in-law, a daughter in love. Oh, good. Chandler's there too. Okay.
there? You go. See, you're more loved than you give credit for.
Yeah, because I reminded them. I wasn't sure in what order or what the theme was going to be. I just pulled out some stuff here.
I
So I
think
guess I will.
your man and Miss Betty were Dennis and Miss Betty were the first ones on the show. So see, you're dearly loved.
And it is beautiful. Thank you. Also, I love the support. This one's untitled as well. But I think it's going to be titled in my book that's supposed to be coming up, hopefully, before the end of the year. I'm working with AJ. So I'll just go on into it. This is not a long piece. I be the instrument, playing smooth jazz to your rough day. I be massage oil, smoothing your kinks away. I be a rose in a fisted glove, soft spoken verse, unrehearsed, but battle ready for you if worse comes to worse. I be a shoulder to shelter your head as you weep. I be lullaby, melodiously seducing you to sleep. I be Cinderella, sweeping you off of your feet. I be partnered with God, with your soul to keep. I be resilience in my melanin, empowered by Christ within. I be that rock to steady you on your journey, exceeding beyond the ancestors, our kin. I be the goblet you place to your lips, savoring the pull as you take slow sips of the peace I willingly give. I be the chill in your stress for as long as you live. I be love in your life, gladly accepting this task. I be whatever you need without you ever having to ask. Poem.
That's, that's such a heartwarming piece.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Dennis, I can see why you couldn't give up and you had to keep badgering her, beating her down until she gave in. I mean, what more commitment can a man ask for, in love, right? That is,
Ah. Yeah.
I hear where you're coming from, Dennis, like, but that, when I said before about wanting people all over to hear good people's poets' words,
Hmm.
there could be millions of people out there in corners of the world who needed to hear that sort of that piece, to know that yes, you might have been hurt, yes, you might have been let down, yes, you might have been, but there are people that genuinely care, that can genuinely love, that can genuinely commit to a relationship. And it gives us that reassurance, that healing, right? We say, okay, we had a bad experience, but that does not mean that we should be bitter or not ever love again.
That's right. I'm
So,
not dead yet.
yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. Sure, you might get hurt again.
No, no,
Again.
no. Yes. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, you also spent quite a bit you have were fortunate to be able to spend, what, over 6 years in Europe as well.
Yeah.
A lot of, did that sort of, how did that help your development and growth into adulthood?
I had no choice. I had Chandler, my daughter. Well, she was conceived in Spain, born
Mm,
in Germany, because at that point, because Spain, the base was closing, they had to give us orders to go somewhere else. And my ex-husband had followed me there and joined me after the second miscarriage I had. He was there on a humanitarian reassignment because he was supposed to do a year remote. Whenever you go to Korea, you have to be there a year without a spouse,
mm,
whether you're married or not. So he got a joint spouse assignment, joined me in Spain. Then several months later, I got out. And as soon as it was amazing to me, soon as I got out and got pregnant with my oldest, which is Chandler, I was fine. I was able to hold her in my womb. So she was conceived in Spain, born in Germany. And as I planned, I wanted to have another baby not too far from Chandler. And since I was 27 when I had Chandler, biological clock. So I got pregnant again with Alexis in Germany, had her in Belgium. So I had to grow up because I had two baby girls. I had to parent and then just trying to adjust to not being in the service anymore and just supporting the ex-husband because now I'm following him. Um, and then, once we left Belgium and went to Colorado, and this is after being overseas for 6.5 years total. I got pregnant with Jordan, which is my third daughter, but gave birth to her in Maryland. And my final fourth child, Simeon, who is a boy, he's the only one that I conceived and gave birth to in the same state. We weren't going anywhere at that point because my ex-husband was retired when I got pregnant with him, and I was 41 when I gave birth to him. In fact, Simeon just graduated high school. He's at college now. He left for
Oh.
college last week. Yeah, so I don't have any more babies. I'm like, oh my God, where's my babies? They all grown. They all grown. Hmm. You got quiet,
Um,
Rainier. Oh, I was gonna say, did you mute yourself?
Sorry?
I thought you muted yourself for a minute. I didn't hear you.
Somebody was trying to ring me. They know I run my show, so I just hung up the call. So that's why, well, that was. Um, yes, it is. It is another stage in life. I fully identify with that. Seeing our kids grow. Um,
Hmm.
um, the way I relate to that is, so when I split up, my son was coming out of the army,
Mm.
um, and I, we'd split up and she'd bought another house. And I said, well, where do you want to live when you come out of the army? Your mum's got a house with a couple of two or three spare rooms, or you can go on your own, or do you want to live with me? And straight away he said he wanted to live with me. So effectively, he lived with me for 4 years. And the relationship I have with him, we're friends. We're good
Hmm.
mates, as we put it here in Australia. We were flatmates, and then we were father and son. And then 4 years back, 4.5 years back, when he bought his own house and moved out, for 3 months, I felt I had lost my best friend. I was going to sleep crying pretty much every night, but I couldn't show him my pain. In front of him, I had to celebrate his success and his moving on. Because I didn't want him to know that his happiness and his independence came at a price of my pain. So I was
Mm.
playing this dual image. So in front of him, I was this happy, joyous person, but in the silence of the night, I know the tears I shed. But funny how the universe works, because what it did was give me the opportunity as a father to stand back and watch him captain his ship
Yeah.
adeptly and confidently and in the right direction. So now, if I drop dead tomorrow,
Hmm.
I'm very confident that he is a turned out to be a beautiful, mature young gentleman that can, and the decisions that he makes in his life shows that I had done what I could, the best I could as a parent. Uh,
Absolutely.
and so now I can confidently go and live in any corner of the world, or
Yeah.
drop dead tomorrow. At
Hmm.
least I know I've given him a good footing in life. And that, I think, when you see them, as you said, once they start having their partners, having their own kids, and you've got four of them, right? Three daughters and a son. Look,
Hmm.
uh, they become living proof of all your commitment and dedication as a parent.
Even though I cried every time each one of them had to go.
Oh,
I cried. I cried, but at the same time, I told them, I know you need to do this. This
yes.
is a time to do it. And when you don't have any children, no responsibilities, I want you guys to see the world and do what you can do, and have
Well,
these opportunities. But it does. It hurts your feelings, but it is what it is. You got to let them go.
the more authentic, the more deeply you love your children, which is awesome, the more it hurts, you know.
Yeah.
But I know exactly where you're coming from because I myself shed, and I had nobody. My mum had also passed away, so I had
Mhm.
nobody to turn around and put the arms around me and say, "Son, it'll be okay."
Yeah.
But the universe works in mysterious ways that today now it's given me that peace of mind that I don't need to worry about him anymore.
That part.
You know.
That is such a relief. It also makes me understand my mother a lot better too when she didn't want me to leave and I was 21 years old. But she basically pushed me out the house because she was trying to put curfews on me and whatnot when my friends could stay out. And I'm like, I'm grown. I haven't gotten locked up. I'm not strung up on drugs. I work. I was going to college part time. And I'd even give her a few dollars out of my paycheck, even though she didn't really want it. She felt bad,
Mm,
taking money from me. And I'm like, Mom, you've been a single parent, raised me and my sister by herself, no help,
mm,
you know and coming up like that, it kind of forces you not to take things for granted, and when you're working for it, you appreciate it more coming up in that time, you
yeah.
know and she didn't want me to leave. I found out after I left she really didn't want me to leave, even though she was uh cursing and whatnot at me, talking about you just want to, and I'm being very transparent. I know I can't help but be transparent. I'm too old to not be. But I'm just saying, she was like, "You just want to move out so you can have men laying up in your in your place." It's the way, growing up in the '70s and everything. You did not talk back. You did not answer. I was like in my head, I'm thinking, well, if it's my own place, I can do what I want. But I didn't say that to her. Oh God, no! Even though I was a little taller than her, I knew better. She 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 packed a punch and then them little hands of hers. Oh no no, but yeah, that's the whole idea. If I'm in my own place, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it, but I didn't say it because. And then too, I'm like, well, I'm 21 years old anyway. I don't need to be here. I should be on my own. So I left and did not come back. And my oldest pretty much did the same thing. I will say this, my children are pretty independent, and I love that about them. They do know, and I tell them if things, get really bad, of course, they can come home. But of course, being grown too, if you're working, since you're grown now, and my obligation to be your sole provider or whatever, of course, I expect some kind of contribution, but never to like break them. I would not take advantage of them, but still, they
Yeah.
can always come home because I'm their mother. I'm always going to be their mother, period.
Yeah.
I
Do
don't want you
they
out here in the street.
do they
What you
live
say?
do they live in close proximity to you where you are in South Carolina? You're in Greenville, right?
I am in the Greenville area.
Uh, do do they live
They
near you?
live within, I guess they live within 25 minutes maybe, but I don't see
Uh,
them. They doing their own thing. That's why I'm glad I got this poetry and a job and now a man, because I rarely see them. Although my second oldest, who is in the Navy, she surprised me on Sunday real quick. She was like, nobody's supposed to know she was in town, but it was really quick because she had to get back to base. But I got to see her. She's 30,
uh,
and my oldest is 32. My youngest daughter is 24, and my son is 18.
yeah. So
Yeah.
look, it's good that they are in close proximity, and I mean, being in the services herself is not always easy. Here we go. We're working and tired.
That's my daughter in love. She's married to my oldest daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. They're working and tired. So,
Yeah. And
uh,
I understand that. They killing themselves working.
yeah.
But I miss them though. I always miss them.
I have no doubt. I've never met. I mean, this is the first time I've interacted closely with you, and I've never interacted with your kids. But I'm sure um, they love you with every answer there being. Whether they
I
can
would
turn up,
like to.
I'm sure they do.
I hope so. That's all I can do is hope so. I done the best I could. And the older, well, at least the oldest ones understand better now that they're grown and been
Yeah.
through some things themselves. They understand me better. It's amazing. You start to understand your parents a whole lot better in terms of the choices they had to make or how they had to do things once you have to,
Yeah.
grow up
Mm.
and start experiencing what adulting really is. And I prayed for that. I'm like, before I leave here, I want them to understand
Yeah.
me better enough to know that there's certain things I just had to do. I did what I could with what I knew.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's funny. Sometimes you can learn from your kids too, because you know how
Hmm.
when my son was living with me after I split up, and I'm a wild card, and I was out there pretty much Friday, Saturdays, and things like that. I was out till 4 or 5 in the morning, and my son would be going to work when I'm coming home, or he would check my bedroom, and if he didn't see me there, I'd get a message: "Hey, you all right? You hadn't been home.
That's right.
Did you have a good?" So, and he used to call
Hmm.
more than I did, you know.
Yeah, because I tell my children the same thing. I don't expect anything from them that I would not willingly give to them because we're living in a crazy world anyway. We've been living in a crazy world, especially if you're someone with a little bit of melanin.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You just don't know because
Mm.
there's some crazy people out there. And so if I'm leaving town or whatever, at least one of my children know where I'm going, and I'll share my Google Maps so they
Mm.
can see the ETA, see where I'm supposed to be.
Mm.
So, and I tell them, even if you don't tell me, tell somebody that could tell me.
Yeah.
But, it'd be nice if one of us within the circle of our family knows what each is doing in
Mm.
case something should happen, God forbid. It's just being responsible. And I'm almost 60. I'll be 60 in a few weeks. So I'm like, I'll tell you where I am. I don't have a problem with that. That's being responsible.
Mm. Well, you're very considerate because I've always been, since I was very close to my father, and after losing
Yeah.
him, I grew up pretty much independently. Not that I was denied the love of a mother, but
Mm,
I could only love her from a distance, from through behind a wall for fear of loss, my own fear. So
mm,
I literally grew up on my own. So I've sometimes get negligent to let people know where I am. Um, and but then again, in Australia, things aren't as bad as what it's like in the
yeah.
US. I've visited there twice in 22 and 24, and yeah, at 8 o'clock in the morning, some of the crazies out and about was crazy. Like it's luckily we're not
Well,
right
y'all have
by that.
them crazy big insects. I'm like spiders that look like cats, size of cats and whatnot. I'm like, and I used to want to come to Australia until I saw that. And then the kangaroos. I'm like, my God, the kangaroos are no joke over there. I'm like, no. And they look innocent. I'm like, no, I don't know if I want to be running into these
They leave
creatures.
you alone. When I play golf, like tomorrow when I'm playing golf, there'll be 30 kangaroos skipping across my pathway in the golf course, and they leave me alone. I've hit my ball in the middle of them, and I've had to go in middle of 30 kangaroos and hit my ball from there. They leave you alone. There. And the
Scared.
the snakes, the spiders. I've got my house. They've got their place in the garden. We live happily.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
human
but
beings are sometimes worse. You know what I mean? We human beings do crazy things to each other, right?
that's the truth. But the spiders got me scared, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
There you go.
I'm like, oh my God, they prehistoric size for real. That's like, I don't know, man. I wanted to come, but I don't know.
Miss
But
Betty Fire, she's saying that you're 60, you're just a whippersnapper.
I don't feel like it. The body is just being so disrespectful right now. It's
And
so disrespectful.
Miss Betty's saying that Australia is still in the era of dinosaurs.
I believe that.
Uh,
I believe that. Oh my God. I'm trying to get my passport together too. It's just been one thing after the other. I'm hoping by this week I'll figure this out. Because I went to get passport photos yesterday thinking I'll finally get to do it. And then I'm looking online and it was saying that the rules are you can't take a picture of a picture. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because that's exactly what I was going to do. I paid for the photos. I was going to take a picture and then try to upload it.
yeah.
And just for those of you that are looking into renewing, you can't do that. And I should have got the digital. I should have paid for the digital, which would have been extra $4. But
Mm,
I didn't know that you couldn't take a picture of a picture.
mm,
But my
mm.
passport's about to expire in October, and I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get this done. It's too much going on here. I know I just changed the subject. Did you have another question for me? I'm
Well,
just going off the cuff here.
that's not so much a question, but maybe perhaps a statement. Maybe now once you get
Hmm.
your passport renewed, and maybe you and Dennis might decide to take a vacation down here in Australia, and I'll be there to be your guide if you
That would
guys
be
decide to do
cool.
that. Uh,
That would be cool.
yeah.
Absolutely. I've never been to Australia.
And I'll keep you safe from kangaroos, spiders, snakes, all that stuff. I'll keep you safe from all that stuff as well.
That would be awesome. Absolutely. Because I'm
You want
telling you, I'm not with the woodland creatures, man. I'm just not. I cannot.
Hey,
Hey, Graciano.
you survived Brooklyn, right? New York, so you can survive anywhere, right?
Well, yeah, as long as I'm, given reciprocity, of respect, and I can find a job, I have. I've survived in different places. I've lived in Europe when I didn't know their language,
Mm.
Colorado, and then to Maryland, and then here in South Carolina, and in between that, of course, North Carolina, New York, um, Texas for training,
Mm.
Mississippi for training when I was, active. So I've lived in, several places, and so far I'm still here.
Well, your man is screaming out for another poem, and he wants you to do one about passports.
I did not write a poem about passports. I don't have, well, if I did, it's not printed, and I wouldn't be able to read it because I'm on my phone on the live. Let me see here. What am I going to read then? This was inspired by Caroline Creative Corner.
Yeah,
It
she's like,
was for her birthday. Is it where I have the whole piece? Oh yeah, I do. This one is called The Journey. The Journey. If my glasses would just stay clear so I can read. Um, this journey began as if traveling by rowboat, coasting without oars. Unbeknownst to me, I was called to a destiny without the luxury of free will. In other words, there was no option to request my existence. So here I am, chosen to complete a task that I believe I have yet to fulfill. Since up until now, I continue to greet the day with breath. It is my belief that I am not finished yet. So I tarry on in hopes that I bless those who encounter me, in hopes that I do everything with sincerity,
mm,
in hopes that my mere existence can bring change for the better, in hopes that I've learned from my past errors, in hopes that I remain humble in all that I achieve, in hopes that I have no regrets before I leave, in hopes that my children know beyond reasonable doubt that I did my very best in loving them, in hopes those that encounter me see God in me or at least a glimmer of him, in hopes that the foundation I planted in my seeds were firm, in hopes that I made a positive difference, in hopes that somehow I exude an aura of peace and not chaos, in hopes that I get a well done, thy good and faithful servant, because currently it appears that my mode of transportation has changed, soon to transition to an airplane, one way, no baggage, leaving the way I came. Oh,
That oozes your authenticity, Erica. That really does. And you said that it was written inspired by Caroline.
yeah, it
Um,
was for her birthday. I think it was last year or the year before. She
yeah,
put a prompt up for her birthday.
yeah. And funny, like now with the recent post of hers that I saw where she's witnessing some unpleasantness in one of her children's lives.
Oh, wow, I didn't see that.
Um, that piece now particularly will mean so much to her.
Mm, I'm gonna have to catch up with her because I missed that.
Yeah,
I've been working all day.
like she actually did a post very recently about what her child's going through with a
Mhm.
narcissistic sort of relationship. I mean, I'm not going to spread her story here, but have a chat to her and honestly remind her of this piece because I think that piece will mean a lot to her. And she's a beautiful soul, and yeah,
Yeah.
anything that can make her life easier, I'm sure she'd enjoy reading that piece again. Now, Dennis
Hmm.
asked me to do the magic word trick with you, to give you any random word and you find a poem that has it. He's setting you up here. I asked him
But
for
the thing of it is, Dennis, sweetie, I'm on the phone. I can't find it if I'm on the phone that I would find it in. That's the issue. I don't have two devices like you do.
there you go, Dennis. Something for you to sort out with.
No, sis, I don't even know. See, I can't, unfortunately, even with all the updates, I can't keep the live up and then go in my memo and find a poem that may have a specific word because I'm on that device, unfortunately. I'm sorry, baby. I would have loved to accommodate you, but I can't get to it.
So tell me, do
Yeah.
you do live performance regularly in, and is there a lot in your area in North Carolina or South Carolina? Sorry.
Well, just Coffee Underground. As a matter of fact, we're having a slam. It's King of the South Slam on Sunday because I'm typically at these slams, I'm the timer.
Mm,
And Kendra is the scorekeeper
mm.
because we both always volunteer to do that. And
Right.
I know next month, yeah, next month they're gonna have the Queen of the South Slam. And then in November, it will be the Fresh Out the Oven Slam, which I'm considering participating in because I've never done a slam before. And that slam, the idea is for those that are like closet poets that have never done slams or they just write poetry, that you can participate in that.
Mm,
So I was considering it because I've never been in one.
mm.
And of course, Dennis is trying to lovingly encourage me to do that because he's definitely is a veteran when it comes to slams.
Well, you've got a coach
Yeah.
hand there, so why not? I think you should too. And having a experienced slam poet to
Hmm.
coach you and help you out and build your confidence, why not? You mentioned, was it coffee grounds or
Coffee Underground.
coffee underground? No,
Coffee Underground. And it kind of gives to me the concept of the subway because you got to go down the stairs to enter into the place. But it's also like a bistro. You'll see people with their laptops, they can order sandwiches, coffee,
Yeah.
another beverage. It's that kind of vibe. But then on the other side, you have the mini theater, which is where we have the open mic. And open mic is normally every Sunday, beginning at 7:30. They open the doors at 7.
Mm.
So
So do you go and spit pieces on there regularly, or?
I go. I most part sometimes a lot of times I'm kind of lovingly bullied to get on stage because I'm still kind of uncomfortable, and they'll say, "Erica, you're going to spit, right?" And I said, "No, I didn't plan on it." They said, "Okay, I'm putting you down." This is what they do to me. So I said, "Well, I guess I am then." And I know it's for my own good, kind of like eating your vegetables, so I don't fight them on it. I was like, "Okay, fine," because I know there's something I'm supposed to be doing.
I love that fuck eating your vegetables.
So So I just do it. Doesn't see Kendra like proud bullier. Yeah, she is. Lord have mercy.
Now, I'd love to hear another piece, but before that, what have you
Hmm.
got coming up? So you've said by the end of the year you hope to have your book out, uh,
Yeah,
which
yeah. AJ, I've been working with AJ for a minute. Um, I didn't have time to get with him these last couple of days, but hopefully this weekend it'll be the final edits. I hope to God, because this has been a long time coming. It is going to be titled "Pen Eased for My Thoughts."
yeah,
So
okay,
that's the title.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
And so end of the year. Well, end of the year is not far off.
No.
Um, and well, AJ's a renowned person, and I know he's quite experienced in that publishing area. He's published his
Mhm.
and helped many others. So I think you're in good hands there. Um, Dennis is asking, um, she'd love to. Do you have a printed out poem that has the word accommodate or noses?
I did have the one for the accommodate, but I didn't bring it down here. I didn't pick that poem to read because he's already heard that piece maybe twice. And even though I probably read something that he's heard before, I was trying not to read anything that he's heard before. Not too many of them. So I didn't bring that one downstairs. I'm
Right.
sorry. You should have asked me this before I came on the live. I'm sorry, Rainier.
No,
Because I've been prepared. Because I don't think I chose that one. I don't think I brought that one down here. I'm trying to find something that is not necessarily, something different.
well, Betty's asking, can you do a poem off the top of your head about the fine qualities of the man you love?
Not at the top of my head. I'm trying to see if I brought it down here. Because I wasn't sure which way I was gonna go. I'm being honest with you. Did I bring it? Let me see what I got here. Okay, that one's different, so that's not gonna be it. Because I thought I put it aside. Let me
Dennis is
see
going to
here.
open a dictionary
The
and
things
read.
between him and Miss Betty, let me tell you. I swear they don't ever prepare me like beforehand. No, that's not it either. That's weird. Because I thought I pulled it.
Dennis is going to open the dictionary and read words under
I'm telling you, okay, let me see something. I thought I put it. I was sure I printed it because here it is. Here it is. I'll read it since they're asking. She said about my man. So let me see here. Turn this around so I don't get it confused with everything else. So I had titled this nerd, okay? Since this is about him, but I can't spit it on top of my. I'm sorry. Memorization and I are still getting acquainted. Okay.
makes to us.
I'm telling you, I got to read. I'm locked in to this noteworthy, exceptional Renaissance deity, my nerd. Each day upon greeting me, he goes all the way in when I have yet to acclimate to the day's end. He greets me with, I have a prompt for you. He may shoot me a good morning or hi, babe, before proceeding with his agenda, but homework soon follows. Upon opening my eyes, like I have a classroom set up on my calendar. And I'm not alone in receiving assignments. Going by the time he takes, he appears to be in study hall. For every time he locks eyes on me, I observe him doing his research, footnotes, Wikipedia, sites worked, photographic memory of my moods, ensues my expressions, past conversations, in order to set up his PowerPoint presentation. He's my logophile obsession. So this man truly studies me. I am his biology specimen, his daily regimen, amber on double alert, as if I'm displayed on a petri dish like a delectable dessert. Microscopic perusal of my inner workings, unwavering in his gaze, looks upon me as if he's amazed, never missing a beat. His focus is as if he's afraid that if he blinks, he'll miss something unique. Thesaurus to my nature, his perusal never complete. I'm his case study, indeed, feeds into my sapiosexual needs. So he studies me to show himself approved, so he won't have to cram for the finals. Poem.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, and that attentiveness, right?
Very.
That's a word that we can expound on so much, like you see that, well, I myself have experienced that, and I've been guilty of it as well, where you meet somebody, you fall in love, and initially you're so attentive to everything about them, and then a few years later, we get caught up in our own lives and life takes over and we forget about that, making that time for each other, making that time for that, to take the time to support
Mhm.
the person's own growth as an individual and making time for each other, especially when kids come along too. It's very easy to
Mhm.
that. So there's some very key points you touched on that piece. I mean, it was a heartwarming piece and it was a most encouraging piece, but there's also a lot that people can take from that in terms
Yeah.
of whether you've been together 1 year or 10 years or 20, 30 years, even making that time to be attentive and to make sure you don't miss something in your partner's growth. Because
Mhm.
sadly, you see this quite a lot. You fall in,
Mhm.
well, a guy falls in love with a woman or vice versa.
Right.
They want to take that person and put them in a jar and stop letting that flower blossom to that what that person can be. And in doing that, we're denying ourselves the seeing the full blossom of the person we fell in love with, because we want to keep or we want to make them who we want them to be. Hang on, you
Right.
fell in love with this person for what they are, who they are. So why now do you want to make them what you want them to be? Why not let them grow and develop to who they are and enjoy that journey, witnessing that
Right.
journey?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you,
Absolutely.
a lot of that in that poem, you said it in so many ways, what we should be doing in relationships. You know?
You
So,
gotta learn something in this life, I'm telling you, with everything with everything we go through. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I have to learn something.
Yeah. Now, each week I say,
Hmm.
each show always say that what a key part the audience play in this. And Erica, today, the many
Hmm.
people who've been in this room and interacted and with what your pieces, with our discussions, really shows how much you are loved and respected within the community. And as a person, as a poetess, and for everything that you stand for, everything that you believe for who you are. And that's a gift, that's a richness, that's the best gift people can give sometimes. You
I
mentioned
appreciate
you went to Mike A. Michelle's birthday and you didn't take a gift, but I'm sure the gift of your poem, of you reciting that poem for the first time, albeit on stage even, was probably the best gift you could have given her. That probably means a lot that she'll probably remember 10 years from now or 20 years from now,
Yeah. I hope so.
you know.
Yeah. Mm.
These are the things that we take to our graves, not the
Yeah.
the fancy gifts and so forth, which a
Hmm.
couple of years later just collect dust on a shelf or is consumed and gone. But these acts of kindness, these acts of time, making time for each other, those are the things that really mean so much.
It does.
And thank you to the audience, Miss Betty, Dennis, and Gifted. There's been Mike A. Michelle. There's Michelle. There's been so many people that have come in here who I respect within the community and obviously think very, very highly of you. Thank you, folks, for coming in here and supporting Ericka on this journey. And then I've got the regular supporters, Tom DeSaro and Adaze Nwanko, who'll be on next show again for the second show. These people are there every week. Miss Betty is quite regular. Luzzie is quite a regular visitor. These are all people that love you to death that are here. So, yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. Especially you need that. We all need to feel appreciated and seen.
Now,
That's the thing.
I'm not this fastest, you know, kid on the block.
Mhm.
Explain your Instagram handle to me. Is it Brooklyn Days? Is that what it does, or what does help me
I'm
out?
glad you asked that. And I was going to say you were feeling bad about messing up Kendra's name. And I was going to tell you, people have called me different things. They've called me Brooklyn Dash. They call me Brooklyn Daisy. But the BKLY is normally abbreviation for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Then you have N. Then you have duh. And then HSE. Some people, will abbreviate that for house. So it's Brooklyn in the house, is the way it's pronounced.
Oh,
And I started to put underscores in between to help people, and a poet advised me, no, don't worry about changing it. They'll figure it out, or you'll explain it to them. I'm like, okay, but
Brooklyn.
it doesn't bother me because I understand. Yeah, you wouldn't know how to say that, so it doesn't bother me if people don't get it right.
I got the Brooklyn part right, but I couldn't understand the and the house part. Yeah. So
Yeah, in the house. Yeah,
yeah. Now, do you want to go to another poem?
I guess so. Let me see. I'm trying to find something that's a bit different than what I was. Hmm. Let's see here. So I didn't know what to write, what to do. Oh, no, that's about him. So can't, I was just on him. So we won't read that one.
You can't have two pieces
I'm
down.
trying to be a bit versatile here. Give you something different. Hopefully, did I run out of charge? Because this one I thought I had printed and I had to put it on my computer. And hopefully it won't go blank on me in the middle of me reading it. This one is called Melanin Matters. Hello, and thank you for calling Melanin Matters. If you think you have reached this number in error, please check the number and try again. Otherwise, press star and you will be transferred to our directory. Beep. Press 912 for Stephen Biko. Press 706 for Sonia Massey. Press 110 for Tyree Nichols. Press 221 for Malcolm X. Press 223 for Ahmad Aubrey. Press 313 for Brianna Taylor. Press 226 for Trayvon Martin. Press 713 for Sandra Bland. Press 525 for George Floyd. Press 924 for Marcellus Williams. Press star pound for all school massacres. Beep. We're sorry, but the martyr you are trying to reach is no longer in service. Press 0 to speak with Jesus on the main line so you can tell him what you want. Beep. Your estimated wait time is maybe 2 late minutes. Disclaimer. He may answer, but just know that only God's will be done in your circumstance. Callers tend to have similar outcome, death on repeat, guaranteeing hashtag fame posthumously, making martyrdom a reality. Beep. We're sorry, but we are experiencing extremely high call volume at this time. If you would like to hold your place in line, press 1 and we will return your call as soon as possible. Beep. Thank you. I see the number you are calling from is HASHTAG. If this is correct, press 1. If not, press 2 to leave a different number. Beep! We're sorry, but all circuits are busy at this time. Please retry the number and call again. Thank you for calling Melanin Matters. Goodbye.
That's potent. That's potent. Obviously, for me, here some of the numbers. I probably need. I probably missed a lot of the significance of the numbers, but the names I are connected with.
The numbers are date of death. I'm glad that you picked up on that. The extensions are date of death.
Right. Okay. There. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the problems I face. Like here, yes, we've had our racism and all this stuff here. I mean, matter of fact, when I was growing up through the 70s, dark complexion people were a rarity. I was the only dark complexion kid in a school of 500 in the northern suburbs. And this for the time of the skinhead gangs and so forth. So I grew up in that sort of shit. But I've got to say, what we experience here is nothing to what historically the US has been, or even now. So that's I mean, and visiting there, I just see the community is almost segregated, and
Mm-hmm.
relate to that. That's a powerful piece, a powerful message. But thank you for explaining the numbers in that piece, the significance of the numbers. Thank you.
No problem. I'm trying to, if I can, as I'm doing poetry, especially when there's so much, unfortunately, there's so much negative material out there to write about or be inspired by, to at least have some kind of historical reference of truth.
Mm.
So
Mm,
if it ever gets recorded or whatever the case may be, if it's ever memorized, at least they know that's, you know, it's significant.
mm. Ericka, I do hope
Mm.
you do keep um, gaining more and more exposure on live events. And look, as I said, this is only the first time. It's never the last time. When your book's out or anything you got anything
Yeah.
big on, feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to feature you and promote your work. And for folks out there who will probably watch the replay of this or the YouTube or the podcast, Brooklyn, Brooklyn in the house, right? In the post, you can get her Erica's Instagram handle, and I'll have it in the caption as well when I post this, and I'll have on every post that I make of this. Please do follow this lady, and if
Thank you.
you've heard her give some of her examples of her variety of work that she does and the authenticity of her pieces, and through our discussions and the pieces that you've shared, please follow this lady, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. And Ericka, I am looking forward to your book coming out in the next few months.
Okay.
But please do remember, this is not the last time. My door is always open. I've always got time for authenticity, for genuine people who write and come from the heart. One of my biggest disappointments is to see
Mhm.
people who write beautiful pieces that are quite empowering and healing and encouraging, but then I see their behaviors or the way they live their life contradicts what they write. To me, that hypocrisy is the
Yeah.
big down. And when I meet people like you who live and breathe your own work, your authenticity, it means a lot. It means there are other people in this world that think like me, and it means a lot. So thank you for being you. Thank you for your wonderful work. And yeah, please don't ever consider yourself that you're emerging, because you're far from emerging. You are an established
Mhm.
writer. Your words are that of a mature, authentic heart. And yeah, I think you have a message for a lot of people out there who need to hear things.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't know how to be anything else other than me at this point, especially in this life. That's all I know to do.
Yeah, this
That's all
no.
I know to do. And
Um,
just make sure that I don't leave here and make my children ashamed of me. You know what I'm saying? They're still impressionable even though they're grown.
I
So I'm
think
like, you know what? I'm just trying to be a decent human being. That's all I can be.
I think you would. I don't think you could do anything that'll be a bad reflection on
Mhm.
anybody, let alone your own children.
Yeah.
You are held um, with high respect. I've never met you, and this is the most I've interacted with you, and
It
I've held
is.
you in high respect. When I reached out to you about coming on the show, I'm normally a good judge of character, and my instincts never let me down again. And I am blessed to have got to know so much within this hour and a half, that I have got to know so much more about you and share this time with you. I'm blessed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Don't make me cry here on the screen. Don't you do that. Anyway, now you come in 11th hour. Yeah, you missed it. I admire him as well. He's very good.
Now, he's the
Very
man
good guy.
I've
So here.
he was supposed to be featured on this show, but then he had to travel with work and got held up, and I haven't heard
Hmm.
from him as to when he's able to come on this show. There is a man that I would love to feature as well because I really respect his work and I love him as a
Oh,
person.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's so different than anything that I'm used to, that I've been exposed to.
Yeah, and
He writes beautifully.
yeah, and he's also a very authentic person. I see when his
Yes.
responses to other people's work, his authenticity and his kindness and his
Yeah.
appreciation of everybody else in the community. I can't wait to feature him, but I'm not going to annoy the poor guy. I'm going to wait till he's ready to come when, life gets in the way, right? We all have work
Yeah.
and commitments and things like that. So I appreciate that. So whenever um, Khalid's ready, I'll love to put him on the show. So definitely. Um,
Okay.
would you like to, what would you like to, another piece, another
Okay. I'll let me see what I can
closing
do
piece?
here. A closing piece. Let's see here.
Well,
Okay.
I used to. This show I used to feature people for 2.5 hours even. But Instagram, once they started doing it in 4K, I can't
Hmm.
get the complete continuous video from the archives if it goes beyond hour and 50 minutes or so. So now I try to keep the show to about 1 hour 50 minutes. Then I'll get a nice clean video for the YouTubes and so forth. Um, and you were worried about being on the show about going so long. We have been on live for 1 hour and 37 minutes, and look at it.
I know. I was kind of concerned. Um, I'm trying to figure out, since this is a closing piece. I'm like, my God, it needs to like be what?
Oh, look, you can do even a couple of pieces. We got time for even a couple of pieces.
Okay, I will try to be as well, if that's the case, then I will do this last, maybe. I'll do this last. I'm gonna try. This is the first time I think I've read this on Instagram Live. Actually, Dennis had sort of gave me a prompt. He's always giving me homework. I told you this in another poem. That's the thing about when two poets are dating. My God, there's always work in case. So this is called Untitled. I hope I can read this properly. I rarely title my poems. I just start writing with the intent that in my parrying, my words will resonate with the right audience. I be shop worn with life's dealings, so I shoulder roll, sanctioning body and mind under subjection to square up. More often than not, I don't have time to spar. My brain goes into shifting mode since split decision is not a given. Being of a peaceful mindset, I don't start these beefs. Yet my musings prepped like a seasoned contender ready to be grilled up George Foreman style. Thoughts be on the ropes, attempting to deliver overhand weaponry to counter my palooka mindset, going toe to toe with these words. Shadow boxing negativity, praying I have a puncher's chance to knock out the defeatist attitude I wrestle with. Ideas be impatient during my seconds out period. They be forgetting who my promoter is, for he sits high north, only venturing to Southpaw to grab the keys to the kingdom, giving me discernment often to peekaboo my message. So I tend to pick off punches in my delivery, rolling with punches that are thrown at me. So I'm in control as to how they land. Thought provoking punchline is the goal. Never any intention of throwing in the towel, although inferiority complex may try to uppercut my footwork. They haven't been in my shoes, so they can't tell me how to write these poems. My objective is to always obtain the title of heavyweight in delivering my message because there's nothing lightweight about my journey. Poem.
And that was on a prompt you said that Dennis gave you.
Yes.
Uh,
Because I was telling him I don't title my poems. He says, okay, I want you to write about that. Almost on a daily, this man gives me homework.
well, if it encourages,
Almost on a daily. I'm like, Lord, help this poor man. Help me. But yeah,
well, if it brings out more and more of your writing and encourages you in your writing, I'm with Dennis on that one. Then Dennis, keep doing what you're doing, um, because honestly, Erica, I think your the words in your heart, the world needs to hear.
thank you.
So please do keep writing. Um, and
I try. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm telling you. I'm trying to just walk by faith here and be led by the Spirit because Lord knows I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going with the flow. And I've been with the poetry now for over 5 years. So I guess this is something I'm supposed to be doing.
and Miss Betty is pleading there for your book to drop. So
Yes.
AJ,
Well,
keep
you
going on.
say I got for less than 4 minutes, and then you said something about the hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Hour 50, hour 45, hour 50, we can get about hour 50, we can get away with, and the video comes fine. So if you've got one more piece to share, you're welcome to.
Okay, let's see here. I guess I'll read this one. This one's not titled. I just found this one today. I forgot I wrote it. That's what's crazy. There are countless moments when you feel as if you're just existing, resisting the urge to scream, to hit, to do something desperate, just to remind yourself that you're alive, that you're capable of passion, that your purpose to do more than just breathe in and out, to take care of the daily task as if in automation. You continue because the alternative would hurt the ones that you love. Always being conscious of reactions to your actions. So you continue on for others' sake, attempting not to be selfish, obviously cognitive of the fact that in past, that consideration wasn't reciprocated. There is an urgency to get it together, to do better, recognizing that each day is fleeting, yet the cycle bears repeating. There are moments that people perceive you as reserved, standoffish, unsociable, not really knowing what you endured in your journey. Your stoic demeanor hides so much baggage, so much pain, so much unprovoked treatment against you, wondering how you're not insane. But yet you make a conscious choice to not dish out what you had taken. We desire so much to be rescued when trials come, not realizing the strength it took to resist our first impulse, concluding that it takes a strong will when you don't succumb to the evil that is begging to be released. We must recall the victories that we've had, making our way out of no way. Take a look in the mirror and see the face of the champion that we've been looking for our entire lives and realize we have survived trials aplenty, so our strength must exist because it didn't kill us. Poem.
That is, yeah, so much said in that. We could talk on that one for ages alone. So many powerful lines in there, and so many
Thank
words
you.
of encouragement, and um, even if we know it, it's things that you mentioned, things there that we need to be reminded of, Erica, because it's easy, things that we forget. So I've said it so many times, your words need to be heard, and your words do carry a lot of weight and a lot of positive encouragement in growth and people on how we live our lives. Uh, um, so, wow, no, that's Ericka.
Thank you.
Thank you ever so much for number one for featuring on the show. For thank you for sharing your work
Thank you.
with us on these social platforms and in live performances. I think it's a gift that your audience and your listeners should cherish, and I'm sure they do. Uh,
Thank you.
and as I said before, this is only the first time, it's not the last time, so this door's always open. And also to the audience, Miss Betty, Dennis, Versatile Vixen, so many gifted, Mike A. Nichelle, Mike, I'll get your name right soon. Mike A. Nichelle, everybody who's been here and the 11th hour, thank you, because Tom and my regulars, the days, Luzzie, thank you for being here and for, as I said, it helps the featured guest to give so much more of themselves through your interaction. So your presence and your interaction enriched the show. I'm just a vessel here that provides a platform, and it's hard for for the featured guests to sit there and give off themselves without your encouragement and without your interaction. It's like talking to a blank wall, right? So thank you.
No, I appreciate you because I was a nervous wreck. I'm always a nervous wreck when I have to do this. But it's gotten a little easier though. I really appreciate you even sending me an invitation. I didn't think I was on your radar at all in terms of coming on your program. So God bless you, brother. I really appreciate you.
The I do.
Really.
When Gemini and I first started this, we were every week, and then we went to every 2 weeks so as we could ensure the quality of our featured guests. And so far, I've got to say, I've been fortunate enough. I have not run out of finding quality people, and you were always on my radar there. It was every 2 weeks when you do two shows a month. It takes a while. So you've been on my radar, and I usually work, try and plan a schedule a couple of months ahead because I'd like to be prepared with the flyers and everything else. Because I work as well. So, sometimes
Mhm.
it's easy to run out of time and last minute running into things, difficulties because conflicts in time and so forth. But Ericka, it has been an absolute pleasure, and I am blessed to have got to know more of you and to hear so much of your work without any interruptions, where I could just focus on every word that you of your pieces. So thank you, and I hope I'll see you again on this show. Who knows? Maybe one day I can have both you and Dennis at the same time. Feature you both together, and I can sit back and let you two, and you can prepare. You can come, Dennis. You can prepare her with her words and whatever, and come in here, and we can have a great time. Actually, what I do, the last show for the year, Christmas
Mhm.
time, what I do is whichever that show falls in just before Christmas. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it'll be the 19th of December.
Okay.
Keep that in your calendars because what I try to do is to encourage people who featured through the year to come
Uh-huh.
there, wish everybody a Merry Christmas, share a piece. Uh, let's just say it's an open mic of the featured guest during the year, just to say goodbye to the year. So 19th of December, keep that in your calendar. I'd love to, to everybody who, Fran, you were on this show a couple of weeks ago. Today, you, Ericka, days. Please try to leave that day free because I'll get in touch with you and you can help me say goodbye to 25 to celebrate everybody that we've featured on this show and to celebrate the year that we,
That'd be beautiful.
yeah. So let's do that. So,
Okay.
Ericka, heartfelt thank you, and thank you to everybody in the room. And I wish you every success with everything that you do, Ericka, with your relationship with Dennis, with your on live performances. And I hope you do participate in these slam events. and with your forthcoming book. And when your book's out, let's target something to come out and showcase the work in your book.
I pray so. Thank you again for making me feel comfortable enough to like relax because I was nervous all day.
You're a
Nervous
veteran
all
now.
day. I'm like, okay, just chill, it's all right. But thank you, and thank you guys, those in the audience that came through. I appreciate the support, really, really and truly. Thank you
You're
for
loved.
being
You're
here.
loved, my friend. You're loved.
Thank you. So, do you X me out or do I step out?
Um, I'll just end the show and we'll say our
Okay.
goodbyes. And thank you. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Love you all.